Okay. So this is ridiculous. Remember a few weeks ago when we were unboxing all of those fish and I had said that a lot of the fish that I had ordered didn't show up? Well, I just got a call a few minutes ago stating that the fish, or some of the fish at least, that I ordered on that is coming to the airport first thing tomorrow morning. So tonight, I need to do a few things to prepare. First things first, you guys will remember the quarantine system. I'm gonna do a big water change on that, so I just have a pump quickly pumping out a lot of the water right now. I'm probably gonna change about 80% of the water. I'm also going to move these Bosmani rainbows that we see here over to the rainbow fish aquarium. Now they've been in there for about 5 weeks now, which is plenty of quarantine. They are doing pretty well, so I'm gonna go ahead and move them over right now. So we're adding in some Bosmani rainbows. Aren't they stunning? So I added the Bosmani rainbows to the 375-gallon aquarium. I haven't done anything with this aquarium since the last update, so there's nothing here to show you that's gonna be different. We need to put some serious focus on this aquarium in the future to repair it, make it look more presentable. In the meantime, I'm performing a large water change on the quarantine system for the new fish tomorrow. Oh, and also Frank wanted one as well, so I'm just using a small pump to pump out some water. We'll give him his water change before he causes a scene. These rainbows are looking pretty darn good though. Okay, I gotta get some sleep. We'll unbox the fish first thing in the morning. Good morning. So the fish have arrived. And I'm just gonna say right off the bat, this is already the most disappointing order of the entire time I've ordered fish for the gallery. I guess the order's just a little messed up, you see. I've mentioned it many times that I order wholesale, but I go through my local fish store, One Fish, Two Fish in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. I'm in Truro, so it's not necessarily my local fish store. I still have to drive quite a ways to get there. However, the wholesaler that we've used a few times continuously doesn't ship all of the fish that I order, usually shorting me fish, or, you know, this is the third time in a row. So we're gonna see what's in here today. And I guess go from there. But I did get me some more zebra snails. They're nearite snails. Awesome snail. Got some cool designs on them, yet they don't necessarily breed in the aquarium. So if you add 5, you're always gonna have 5. They need brackish water in order to finish for the eggs to hatch. They'll lay eggs all throughout your aquarium, but they won't actually hatch. As always, I'm gonna float these to temperature acclimate. I also got some more Cardinal Tetras. These guys are gonna be much smaller than the ones I already have. It looks like they're doing pretty well in the bag. I don't see any dead ones. The water does feel quite cold though. Love me some Cardinals. There's about 100 in there. They're gonna be for the discus aquarium. The discus aquarium only has maybe 25 in there right now, I think. And those guys are doing quite well. This was here is definitely a disappointment. These are more of the baddest. Remember those fish that I got last time for the Asian aquarium? Well, they sent me 20 males. I wanted another 20 females on that order. It never came, so I ordered them again. And I got another 20 males. So that's fantastic. The way this order works and the reason why I end up with these things is because I put my order in. It could take a week, it could take 2 or 3 weeks for them to actually ship, but I don't actually know what's coming until they're on a plane, which I think is a bit ridiculous, but that's just, you know, bigger wholesalers don't have time to update every customer with what's coming. Moving forward, I'm demanding that they do because I have to pay for this fish no matter what comes. So I usually get a text message from Jeff, tells me, oh, these guys are awesome. Tells me that your fish are on the way, they'll be there tomorrow morning. Like last night I got that text. I send him an email for the money, and that's pretty much it. It's very simple. Jeff's kind of bending over backwards and allowing me to order from his list, but at the same time, sometimes they're not that successful. But hey, has nothing to do with him, and more so, you know, these are just common issues that you can deal with sometimes. Okay. So this is ridiculous. I wanted a handful of clown loaches that were 3.5 to 4 inches, and I've got 50. Clown loaches get absolutely massive, and these guys actually look pretty good. Actually quite large. Not sure if you can see them. There is a few DOAs I can already see. Man, clown loaches take so long to grow into adults that's why they're so expensive. They're just such a slow grower. They can be expensive, of course, at smaller sizes. They're not always going to be extremely expensive. I think I might have only lost one. Or two, something like that. They're just cold and upside down, a few of them. But these guys get absolutely massive. It simply takes them many, many, many years to obtain their 12-inch size, even bigger. And these guys are all eventually going into 375. Jeff has already stated you have a lot of clown loaches coming in. They're relatively large. They're an easy sale for his store, so whatever I don't need, just sell them to him and he'll resell them, type of deal. And I've done that with a ton of fish. So every time I make an order, he's like, don't worry about how much you're getting. I'll take whatever you can't sell or whatever you don't use, and he'll sell it. The problem with this is, like, I'm paying $400 a box regardless of what's in it, so you got to try to fill the tank or fill the box out. And a lot of the times you don't want to have one fish in each bag, because some of these fish only cost like 15 cents, 8 cents, $1, $3, things like that. It's like when you incorporate everything in together, like the shipping cost, that's when the cost of each individual fish start to rise. I'm gonna start floating these guys as well. So the only fish that I'm quarantining outside in this tank is definitely going to be the clown loaches. Everything else is going in the house to the inside quarantine systems. Let's see if we can get a few. Look at the size of some of these guys. So these guys are going to be about 3.5, 4 inches. As soon as they warm up, they'll probably start swimming upright. However, I think that some are struggling. We might lose a few. But again, these are the things you don't see your fish store going through, is, them taking all of these losses and taking all of these risks. You just see the end result. Okay, so I will temperature acclimate these guys and then add them to the quarantine systems. And of course, we'll take a closer look at them and see how they turn out. Okay, so the fish are now acclimated to the temperature of the aquarium. I'm gonna go ahead and add them in now. Before we do that, I know I've covered this in the past, but I know not everybody watches every video that I make. So I'm going to cover why I acclimate and why I add the fish to the aquariums in the manner that I do. Now, if I had just bought these from my local fish store, I would just acclimate them to the aquarium's temperature and do the following about what I'm about to show you. However, the reason why I do it, especially for shipments like this where the fish have been in the bags for 18 to 24 hours, is this. Clearly, we need to acclimate to the aquarium's temperature. We don't want to shock the fish. As for pH, hardness, everything like that can take weeks to truly acclimate a fish to those parameters. So I don't worry about any of that at first. You see, the reason why I acclimate the way I do is what's going on in the bag during shipment. Because the fish are in the bags for so long, the oxygen content in the bag is clearly going to deplete over time. And as oxygen levels drop, so does the pH. Now, at lower pH levels below 7, meaning that the pH would be acidic, ammonia isn't toxic. However, the fish are creating toxic in the bag the entire time. When I open this bag and I expose it to oxygen, the pH automatically shoots right up, making that ammonia in the bag immediately toxic. So I never open the bags and then float them or anything like that. Again, on long distances, on shorter trips from the pet store, of course you could do that and just worry about the temperatures. But what I'm most concerned about is the chemical composition of the water fluctuating that quickly. Literally as soon as you pop the bag open, this is why I'm always holding it tight when I'm unbagging them, just to make sure that when I do open it, the only oxygen getting in the tank is for a split second because they're being dumped in the net. They're not exposed to that massive change. So I open the bag like this, get it ready to be dumped over a net. I do not want this water in my aquarium. I don't know what's in it, could have anything in it, and you don't want to cross-contaminate. So I put it over the net like this, and as soon as I release my hand, the water's going to gush out, and so are the fish. The water's going to go through the net, and it's going to catch the fish only. So watch this. Just like that. So that's how I add fish to new aquariums, especially after they've gone on long trips, and that is why. Okay, with so many fish just being added to the tank, they did stir up a little bit of detritus that was on the ground. I probably should have vacuumed that up, but look how many there is. Of course, there is approximately 50 in here, or at least that is what was on the invoices. These guys are actually quite large, and clearly I'm not going to be able to keep them all just because there's 50 of them. They're all going to grow to be about a foot long, but they do find comfort in numbers, that's for sure. Almost like clownfish in saltwater. If you ever see, 20 or 30 saltwater clownfish, they'll ball up into these masses as well. Again, they do well with their own kind. And then, of course, once they're done their quarantine process, I've monitored them for several weeks. They'll be going into the 375 gallon. I will be expediting their quarantine process. I'll show you guys in the near future on how to do that. It does involve medications, including medicating the food and doing some dips with them. But that's something I'll show you how to do in the near future. For those that are well versed with some medications, or at least can pay attention and follow instructions to a T. If not, you'll probably kill your fish, so you'll want to be careful. So with that said, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Even though this shipment was not my favorite thus far, at least it was a success, and we didn't have many dead fish or anything like that. In fact, I thought we were going to have some loaches that died, but there isn't any dead at all. But again, far too many loaches for me. These guys have only been in the tank for a few seconds, so of course they need time to color up. We'll update in the future at some point. With that said, again, far too many loaches that, even for the 375, even though it's a 500-gallon system. Jeff from One Fish, Two Fish in Dartmouth said, no worries. If you need to hand any off, let me know. These guys would definitely be an easy sale, especially given their size. These guys are quite large. They're going to look absolutely amazing in that 375 gallon. Alright, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'd also like to thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet and you want to see these clown loaches get added to the 375, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss that video. I hope to have it out soon. Oh yeah, the other fish that I got as well, they're in the house in quarantine now. We'll update on those in the near future when we have time and when they become relevant to do so.